Welcome back, True Seeker. Just days ago, I covered why the US federal government was reopening an investigation of the murder of Emmett Till 63 years after his death. In case you missed that video, everything the federal government does is executed by a code of letters and numbers known as Gematria, using the alphabetic order. R's the 18th letter, A's the first, C's the third, so on. Racism sums to 63. Emmett Till's death, a story surrounding racism. The story is he whistled at a white woman and was murdered. And in that video, I talked about why so many stories connected to Chicago have to do with racism and racial division. Emmett Till was from Chicago. Just days after that story, we get a story of a police officer shooting a black man, a common theme out of Chicago. And when we get these national news stories, they're contrived propaganda. Like years ago, we got the story of Ronald Johnson and Laquan McDonald. Ronald McDonald. McDonald's is headquartered just outside of Chicago. At the same time, there was propaganda about a Middle Eastern couple shooting up a holiday party in San Bernardino, where Ray Kroc had his first McDonald's. Those were the three major news stories at the time: San Bernardino terrorism, and then Ronald Johnson and Laquan McDonald shootings. Police shooting unarmed black teenagers. And remember, those stories came out a year after they had supposedly happened. All propaganda, all contrived. And what we have here is more contrived news by the code. This story came July 14th. Police officer shoots black man, and then you get protests. Now look, the date July 14th is written 14/7 like 147. What was being protested? The police. Police, 147 in Jewish Gematria. This shooting came on a date with 59 numerology. 59 is this number stamped all over black history and connected to killing. The word kill in Jewish Gematria, 59. July 14th, 2018. 14 plus 7 plus 20 plus 18, 59. Now remember, Motown Records came out in 59. They said they've traced HIV back to the Belgian Congo in 1959. HIV, a disease that has targeted black communities largely. Belgian Congo equals 59. So does Negro, so does slave, so does blues, and a whole lot more. Who's in control of this code? Freemasonry and Zionist Jews, which there's a lot of in the Chicago area, also known as the false Jews. Freemasonry in Hebrew and in English sums to 59, which happens to be the 17th prime number, and the word Mason equals 17. Modern Freemasonry began in 1717. On the date June 24th, 6 plus 24 plus 17 is 47. Very special number to Freemasonry, like the 47 degrees on the compass in their logo. And notice when you write out 47th, it sums to 147, like Freemason, like conspiracy. And understand, police, government, media, they're all controlled by Freemasonry. I assure you, if somebody was really killed in Chicago yesterday that sparked this protest, it was done on purpose. It was targeted. It was meant to get this reaction. So, news by the numbers. If you read the story, they're saying this is the biggest protest over a police shooting since Interstate 94 was shut down after the Laquan McDonald and Ronald Johnson protests. If you write out 94, sums to 147. Biggest protest on July 14th, 14/7 since Interstate 94 shut down. You see how this works? With regards to 47 degrees on the Freemason compass and the relationship with 47 and 147, which comes from Genesis 47, where Jacob, who becomes Israel, dies at 147. Notice policeman has Gematria 47, so does cop, so does authority, so does government, so does news. See how this goes? July 14th is also the day leaving 170 days left in the year. Number we find around ritual sacrifice often. This person who might very well have been killed, or the story can be completely contrived. I don't know which one it is. Either way, you can work up a group of people. Do it either way. You can fake it, or you can actually do it. But the day leaving 170 days left in the year, sacrifice equals 170. 170 is also a lot like 17 with a 0 at the end. Again, we talked about the relationship with 59, which is the 17th prime number. The word kill has Jewish gematria of 59 and reduction gematria of 17. Mason also 17. Modern masonry, again, 1717. They said this happened on 71st Street. 71st Street, the reflection of 17. See? Who's protesting here? All you see are black people. You know, a Negro protest orchestrated by the code. Protesting a cop. See how this all goes? Remember that Chicago protest over Donald Trump? Go back. What day was that in history? It was either November 3rd or March 11th. I honestly can't remember off the top of my head, but I know it was 11/3. Remember that when they had to, shut down Trump's arrival in Chicago over the protest? It was either November 3rd or March 11th. Either date can be written 11/3. Chicago, Zionist-controlled city that puts out a lot of propaganda, a lot of national news stories, and always by this code. But then again, everything in the news is by this code. But Chicago, a city that's used probably more than any other. City that I've always explained is the Zionist Mecca. So you got Rahm Emanuel, the proud Zionist, as the mayor of that city. Know your enemy. Until next time, truth seeker.